Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here, again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. I have, ever since I would say 27 years old, 28, it's when I decided to stop fighting the truth. At least part of it. I don't want to give the impression that I decided to be perfect. No. But I decided to, certain things I just couldn't deny any longer. And that is God. I couldn't deny God any longer. There was a challenge that had been given to me that I had put aside because I wanted to do other things. But I was put in a situation where I was confronted with these situations that had something to do with the path that I was on. And so I decided to quit the path that I was on at that time, the one that I had chosen to do instead of what I was given to do. And it caused a lot of different problems. You know, you can be living in one world and you can go to another world that's different and you'll be out of place. And so I found that this different world was more out of place than I had really realized. I had been given information, but not enough to know what I was supposed to do. I knew it, but I didn't know what I was supposed to do with it. When I was a kid, I did some of the things that a lot of crazy kids do. A lot of crazy kids don't survive it. A lot of crazy kids die. I didn't die. The only reason that I'm alive today is because of a miracle. And that miracle took away all doubt that I might have had about God. The same doubt that every last one of you got about God. Now, I can say that every last one of you believe in God if you want me to say that, but you don't know God and you doubt God. Because you doubt God, you allow yourselves to be slaves. Because you doubt God, you listen to anybody that intimidates you, that scares you, or that has something that you want. This is not just we here in America. That's the framework of people all over the world. And this is why there's so much evilness in the world. Because evil men and women, evil people will do evil things. And the only reason you can stand up to evil is if you know God. What do I mean? To know God means that you don't have any fear about dying. Evil, the number one thing that evil would do to show its hand is kill you. And God will let evil kill you. Why? Because it's the number one sign that you believe in God. It is the number one sign that your belief is more powerful than we've understood belief to be. It is the belief that has enough faith that says there must be, because I'm going with it. That's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. That is the absolute truth. And since people don't say that, they hang around for all of their various reasons. They hang around. Some become partners with evil, and they get evil schemes with think tanks, and they run the world with their evil schemes. And you hate to say it, but ignorant people, they're no more ignorant than the people who are running these schemes. They're evil, ignorant as well. But these is a different level of ignorance. They allow themselves to be manipulated because they're buying the teaching, they're buying the philosophy that they're being fed. My job, having this new information, was to come and tell you, the people that I get a chance to talk to, whether it's on a flyer, whether it's in a newspaper, whether it's on a program, or whether it's a CD, a DVD, or cable access, or any way I can, to tell you that there is a God, that God is real, that God is real, and God frees every individual on earth, frees every individual on earth to give your allegiance to the one that no one can see, the invisible God, the God responsible for your being here. The message that I bring to you is that this God, every individual on earth, has prepared that you will live in peace. This God that I am living today to tell you about, that you would live prosperous, that you would live free. This God that I've been talking to you about for 40 years wants you to know that you were designed to live in joy, with joy, in happiness. You were designed and prepared for the living of your dreams. The living of your dreams. When your imagination comes, it's ready to be worked on. Take you to the next level. The living of your dreams. You don't know this. Most people are never living their dreams. But my message over the 40-some years has been to tell you this. And if I could find some way to persuade you, to convince you to try God. But ladies and gentlemen, I must admit that you have seemingly tried everything else but God. And I say everything else but God. You know, you tried what? Prosperity preachers, you've made them rich. Other preachers, you've made them rich. Other preachers, you put them in power. Some you've gained tools, gained with the evil. You're bringing God to evil, not to change it, but to sustain it. It's just something else. Now, every person out here in America and across the globe who are not living your dreams, it's because you have been robbed. I want you to know you're not living your dreams because you have been robbed. That's the one part. The other part is that you allowed it. Now you might say, well, I didn't know any better. Well, the people who are robbing you probably don't know any better either. They think that's the way to do it. That's the way to get ahead. So they're robbing you. And you might think, well, you got the letter because they'll kill you. That's an old messed up world. But my mission is to tell you that that is all a scam. They will kill because they do not know God. You will permit it because you do not know God. The systems of the world and all of its religiosity and all that stuff. Now, does that mean that there isn't anything in the truth out here? No, it doesn't mean that. The only thing that's keeping us going is truth. That kind of truth that we don't have any control over. But the truth that we're responsible for is where we're blowing it. That's where we're blowing it. My message was to let you know that food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, transportation, infrastructure, and anything that's made by the hands of man, this is what we have, human beings, have progressed to since we've been here on this earth. And we could have gone much, much further if we didn't handicap ourselves by trying to be God. These things God has prepared for you, that your needs, your wants, and your desires be met whenever you call on them. This is the message that I've been given back to you, doing everything I possibly can to get you to see, to get you to understand that the pain and suffering that you go through, the sicknesses and diseases that you go through, the poverty, the crime and violence, the lying and cheating that you find yourselves engaging in, the prisons and jails and all of the riots and all that stuff, getting you to understand this is a sign, this is an indication that what I'm telling you is true. Now, you might have heard of them other folks, but I ran for president a few times, and to use that as a platform to let you know I was serious. But my platform, God didn't speak to me to speak to you the same way the world does. They rob you by getting you to pay money for a candidate to be heard. What sense does that make? These guys are supposed to rep you, and you got to raise money to get on the herd, to get somebody. Well, raise some money and you can be heard. You would think that people would want to be heard because they had something to say. You would think people would want to hear them because of what they had to say. And they didn't want to let nothing stop them from being heard. But if you don't have any money in the world today, you're not going to be heard. Nobody ever heard what you got to say. So that's closed. But my message was to say it anyway. And that any of you who are led by that kind of spirit will grab it and go with it. Now, that didn't happen. So, to me, that was you didn't have that spirit. I mean, it's not a condemnation thing. It's just to let you know that we're still on that same old track. Slaves being manipulated. Anyway, it doesn't mean anything to you because you don't believe what I tell you. Even if I go and rob somebody just to get your attention, go to jail, raise myself up, let people know I want to go to jail, to rob somebody, I want to go to jail. Why? Because I want your attention. What attention do you, why do I want your attention? So I can tell you that the message that I'm telling you is true. So I can tell you again that if you try my message, the message that I'm giving you, you will see it's true. And all of this can be cleared up. But if you don't try it and it doesn't happen, I'm going to prison. I know that before I even start. I even know before I even start that you, my friends, don't know what I'm talking about. But I do it anyway because the future, this happened years and years and years ago, but I can still tell you today that I did it. I guarantee you not too many other people can tell you that they did it. Now, like Trump might want to tell you that he did it, but he didn't do it for your benefit. He did it for his. Excuse me for interjecting him, but I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that even today, the message is still the same. Now, you might say, how can this happen? I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it is as simple as 1, 2, 3. This thing about what I just shared with you, what God has prepared for you, is as simple as 1, 2, 3. Now, let me tell you 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we go. Everybody knows that anything that wasn't made by man, us, was made by some other power. You might not know what it is. You might say alien. You don't say anything you want to say. You don't know. But some people say God was God. Now, I say it was God because I know God got power and I know God exists. In fact, that's how God is known, by power, the ability to do things that could nobody else do. So, all of the existence of things that you and I had no hands in that allows us to do all the things that we do, for me, came from that same power that convinced me that power exists. Now, if that power exists, and all the resources that you, the people, have determined are essential for your survival and your happiness, exist, and it's there for you to use to be able to engage yourself in that you benefit from, and you, my friend, go through the process of establishing and producing in abundance these things that rest in the reservoir of goods and services in such an abundance that there is a shortage for no one. You did it. You chose the greatest thing to give you your pleasure, your joy. You did it. You the workers. You the workers created paradise. The workers created paradise on earth. That's a nice. I think I used that topic. The workers created paradise on earth and got robbed by thieves. The workers created paradise on earth and got robbed by the richest people on earth. And the evidence, you know what it is. Well, anyway, you didn't know that. Many of you kind of thought it, but you didn't know it. Now I've shared it with you. You still don't know it. And it seems like I just came into the knowledge of it, but I've been knowing it all the time. Every last one of us. And here we are. And what are we going to do? What do we have before us? In America, we got Donald Trump. Or the Democratic platform. But really what we have before us in America and around the world where people are is evil. That's all we got around us is evil. But the mission is to create paradise. That's what we're supposed to be living, in paradise. And every last one of us got a role in paradise. And as we create paradise, paradise belongs to us. It is a benefit from knowing God. Not believing, but knowing God and acting with that knowledge. And not allowing any trumpers, any billionaires, trillionaires, or wannabe gods to trick us. But we who suffer are just as guilty as those that cause it. So I say to us, all of us, let us rise up. The engine is going now. Let us rise up. Let us do what we got to do, which is the right thing here in America. But let that only be a beginning. Teaching us. Let us take this moment, learn from this moment what we got to do. Learn well and do it well by making sure that America gets the best product out of this election. And it continues to grow, and that it begins to spread all over this world. That we make things better for people because we came into a knowledge of God and not a darn belief. Well, the workers created paradise. And the non-workers stole it. I can't get that last part together yet. Maybe by the time I post this, I'll have it. Thank you.